Okay, let's see what's going on outside today. We got a couple little projects going, some good ones. And we'll go down the stairs and we'll see what they are here today. Whoa, I'm going the wrong way. There we are. Now we're going. So we're here, we're going to go out to the garage. And there it is. There's the base. I've been soaking it in a little bit of citric acid, a little baking soda mixture, and it was pretty rusty in the beginning, so I'm going to rinse it, I'll sand it a little, and we'll probably do one more little treatment there, but that's coming out good. And then over here I have my little mini workbench going. And I got the boiler on there. I just taped it up, got it nice and wet inside with water, and loaded it up with baking soda. It's like the magic substance. I'm trying to use as many low toxic things as possible, but anyway, I just put a bunch in there, tape it up, keep spinning it around, let it sit in there a while, and then I'll just rinse and give it a good scrubbing in there. Where is that thing? There it is. I got a little sight glass. I have the other one, but this one's kind of rusty and came with some of the original stuff, so I'm soaking it in a little citric acid, slow the rust down, maybe get a little off, but it's pretty corroded. We'll see. That'll go, and then the handle issue. Tried to fabricate this in back together, but I don't know if it's going to work that great in the end. But anyway, I thought of even screwing a big screw in there or something like that, but I don't know. We'll see. I do have another one I can use, but that one's a little beat up. Well, I may think of something. But that's the status. It goes. We have a color to pick the color for the base, and when I have that done, you'll see it. And there it is. So that's my little workbench. I used to have a big, heavy, old wooden dresser I did the stuff on, but I had to chuck that. Okay. Look at that. There's the base. It's primered up, ready for its color. We're down to 3 different ones, and we're just picking them, but we're down to a couple choices. We had a couple we didn't like, but there we go. I just kind of rigged up the sight glass cover, and it gave it a little faux finish. There was pretty rusty, but I got a lot of it off. And anyway, we'll probably use that just for the time being. See how it works. Next show we'll have this cleaned up. We'll clean that baby up. We're going to do pretty good. But I think I am going to go with this lever. It was just a little too much to do with those other ones right now. Maybe as a little project I will, even though I'd like a gold one, but there it is. We'll probably use that one. Maybe I'll order a brassy one, I don't know, but I have that one, so it's all ready to go. And then we have, that's a fun book from the 30s. It's a guys that traveled way down in Tahiti and kind of had to wait for the next ship, which didn't come for maybe 6 months to a year. You just waited, but you know how books from the 30s are. Sometimes they're not quite appropriate with everything. But it's a really good adventure book. It's a guy's journals from the 30s, an artist who went down to Magna Reva, and I think it was his niece took his writings and put them in a little book in the 50s, but it has a funny thing about coffee here, and I changed it around a little bit, but we're talking about the coffee in the 30s that they had down there. And the good deeds left on these islands was coffee. Particularly on Magna Reva, it had flourished, nourished by the soil and climate alike. Magna Reva and her sister islands lie just on the edge of the southern tropics where they join the temperate zone. The climate is ideal for coffee growing. And later, great coffee plantations had been planted on the various islands, but as time went on and the mad idea of civilization failed in the Gambier, these plantations were abandoned. Nevertheless, the coffee continued to flourish in the jungle. There's plenty of it, and the islanders store it for 4 or 5 years, after which it becomes aged just as wine does. Then it is roasted and ground fresh every morning. The islander begins at dawn the hunt for sticks of fire. Nobody bothers with a pile of firewood. In some obscure way, they seem to think that wouldn't be playing the game right. The outside husk or skin is removed from the coffee, after which it is roasted and ground. Finally, the water is boiled and poured through a Islander filter made by tying or sewing a cloth bag on a circular piece of wire with a handle. The coffee is delicious and stronger than brandy. 2 ordinary soup bowls is the usual Islander morning cup, and it takes about 2 hours for the ceremony of preparing it. So that's my pretty cool way of having coffee back in the 30s, just roasting it on the beach over a fire. And it's kind of like when I first came to Hawaii in the early 80s, and I used to go down to Puna to hang out with the Puna boys and surf Left Point, the long lost Left Point. But there they do a similar thing. And Randy always bought this one cone of coffee that was in a burlap bag with a thick plastic bag on the inside. And then some chickens. There's a lot of wild chickens here. But he liked that one because you could smack it with a mallet. Because he lived out way out in Mountain View. There is no luxuries, and there's a big flat lava rock, and the bag fit in perfect, and he would smash it with a mallet. And then he would take that, and we'd make cowboy coffee up in the house, it's really more of a shack out in the rainforest, and boil it in the big pot until it was thick and black. And then you'd turn it off, let the simmer stop, and just splash the tiniest bit of cold water on that. And then you had to wait 4 minutes was the exact time, Randy, whatever time it worked out. But you had to wait a minute for the grounds to settle, and then you could have it. And it was fun because you had to just dip really carefully in there and get your cup. And we'd always have it with condensed milk and a little sweetened condensed milk mixed in, because it was a rude boy coffee, but it was really good. And that's how we would make it. And we'd sit and look out over the rainforest with the ohia trees and the big hapu ferns and all the red flowers, and the rain would pour up there, and we'd sit out and look. And back in those days there wasn't much but the weather band radio, and we'd listen to the buoys to see if any waves were coming and sit out there. But it was funny how it's kind of the same tradition back then, even though those days are gone. But that was always fun. But we're getting a long way, and we'll probably get this baby going pretty quick. So the next edition will have some nice headway, and we'll have the mystery color going, and maybe a theme machine. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be more classic with its look. Then I may have Musa make us a handle or something, but I may just go with the simple. But once we get the color, I may just go that. But that's it for now, and yeah, we'll have another one pretty soon. That's totally. So anyway, there we go. Subscribe and like. 100 subscribers, one will get picked with the box is really nice. Coffee and a surprise.